Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Hot Seat for the C-Suite, MSP Edition, brought to you by Top Down and Young America Capital. I am the host with the most ADHD, which is why I created this format. 8 simple questions, 60-second straightforward answers from our C-Suite guests. This week's guest is Anup Ghosh. He is the CEO and co-founder of ThreatMate. Welcome, Anup.
Thanks, Stefan. And it's excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate not everybody is willing to put themselves in the hot seat. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Let me put up my handy duty clock there, and that will help you stick to the game plan. 60 seconds if I remember to hit it and reset it. Here we go. First question for you. Anup, where does ThreatMate sit in the MSP ecosystem, and who specifically, like what type of client avatar are you serving?
So we serve MSPs. We call them our partners. We help MSPs secure their client networks. And I think what's different about what ThreatMate does is we empower managed service providers to provide cybersecurity services to their clients, which in the past, they've largely outsourced. And now with ThreatMate as a platform, they can automate securing networks so that they can find and fix secure exposures before the bad guys find and exploit them.
All right. Nailed that well under 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so typically again, since MSPs are your clients, not that
Yep.
you're an MSP, tell me about the high stakes business problem that you're solving for these guys.
So more than ever, MSPs have to contend with cybersecurity, and their clients expect as they're managing their networks and their IT that they're also securing them. Sometimes it's explicit, like, hey, you've got my back against these latest threats, right? Other times it's just assumed. In any case, the MSP's responsibility is actually to secure those networks. And up to now, they just haven't had either the proper training or resources. And largely, they've just resold, you know, endpoint security software, firewalls. Now with ThreatMate, we can actually tell them where their client networks are insecure and then go ahead and secure them, right? So we give the power of securing those networks into the hands of MSPs.
It's awesome. What is, if any, the proprietary edge, whether that's a unique process or tech stack that's setting you apart from your competitors?
I'll get into this a little bit around AI. I know it's a very popular topic, but one thing that Anthropic captured a lot of attention on was the preview of Mythos, which they only let about a dozen companies, maybe it's 30 or 40 now, get access to. But Mythos became a game changer in the sense that it could find 0-day vulnerabilities with very little effort. What that means is the time it takes between when a vulnerability is found and when it's exploited has shrunk significantly from months to now hours. From a managed service provider point of view, that means that window that they used to have months and weeks to patch has now shrunk to minutes to hours. So you do need automation to find and fix those vulnerabilities.
Yeah, that's great. What's a 60-second war story? Most urgent client crisis that you handled and how you guys responded?
Well, I think the one that a lot of people have been paying attention to lately, there's a couple. One is cPanel. Many MSPs host websites and they use cPanel, which is sort of a website management software. And there was a vulnerability in cPanel that then became 4 or 5 different vulnerabilities. Well, because websites are internet facing, it became very easy for these crime gangs to weaponize that vulnerability and launch ransomware attacks. So a lot of these websites were exploited with the cPanel vulnerabilities, and the websites were either wiped or just held for ransom. That became a crisis point. Another one recently is around M365. What we're able to do is identify these vulnerabilities in real time and fix them with our clients. And that's what they're really looking for.
For sure. Real time, for sure. How is AI? We've mentioned it briefly here, but how is it changing the game for your clients and for yourself? So your own company, your clients, like let's just address AI and the changes it's bringing.
Well, we did a pivot at the beginning of the year from a traditional SaaS company to an AI native company. And what that really meant was most of the company functions now are run by AI. Everything from the full go to market motion, which I would argue is the highest leverage point in AI today, from digital ad placement, monitoring of ads to enrichment of leads, automation, they call it speed to lead. All of that is run by AI bots, even human bots to do call confirmation appointments, as an example. In the product itself, we can build new capabilities on a timescale that no one's been able to do before. And as a result, we've been able to innovate and out innovate our competitors who've been slow on the uptake of incorporating AI into their own products.
That's great. What an edge. What's the primary growth lever right now, whether it's vertical expansion, M&A, deeper service integration, what's the obstacle to hitting the goal?
Yeah, great question. Primary obstacle, I think before it was product market fit. So, like many early stage startups, which we are, you're trying to figure out, you have these great ideas of all the amazing things that you can do. Like, for example, we now have an agentic pen testing solution, which puts the power of AI in the defender's hands, right? The same kind of AI tooling that a guy in the offense, a hacker could use, we now give that to defenders. And the whole point is you should be able to run safe pen tests, safe attacks against your own network before the adversary does. And I would say that's just an example of an innovative approach. And I would say in this particular segment of MSPs, they're slow to adopt the latest and greatest technology.
Okay, fair enough. Where do you think your company is in 5 years, and what people that are watching us, what they should be paying attention to as it relates to ThreatMate?
Yeah, I mean, I think the end goal that we're really going after hard, I call it find and fix while you sleep. And the whole idea is MSPs up to this point have had to deal with IT issues using ticketing, right? So an IT issue comes up, it goes into a ticket. The ticket is assigned to a resource, it's worked, and then it's closed out. That's actually a fairly cumbersome process when it comes to security vulnerabilities. As we talked about earlier, you just don't have the time because that's usually measured in hours and days. What we're building and what we think we'll get to is the ability to autonomously find vulnerabilities as they're released or even pre released and fix them while the MSP sleeps. So the idea is you wake up and you find out all the vulnerabilities that we found and fixed while you slept. And that's within reach. So I definitely think it's inside that 5 year time period.
That's awesome. All right, this is the easiest question of them all. What is the one thing that I didn't ask you that about your business, about the space as a whole, that you think everybody should know?
Yeah, I think talking about the space, it's undergoing rapid change because of AI. And I know you've talked to other speakers like Joel about that as well. We're excited by that. We think it's a significant opportunity. We're also leaning into it. So, one thing that I've done is I've published a video podcast series, if you will, on how you can run a company with an AI operating system. It's how we run ThreatMate. And I think I've got 6 parts already published now on my LinkedIn. But that's not a product we're selling. It's just learnings, right? And the whole idea is build in public and show people how they can actually run their own company. And that's what I tell, the partners that we sell to is like, look, we're glad to help you build out your own AI to manage your own company. And let me show you the levers that are there that can allow you to grow your business the way we do
Do you
ours.
see that as an additional revenue stream? Do you see that as a new channel for your business where you could be stacking a lot of consulting clients or maybe even build clients that are like, yeah, we want that advice. In fact, can you just build that out for us? And that's a little bit different than what you're doing in terms of managing and the threats for the MSP.
Absolutely. We partnered with a company called Delphi Intelligence who does build out these systems for clients. And so, what we're able to do with it, because we know the segment really well, the MSP segment, we understand their problems, just like we're talking about with the ticketing. So, being able to articulate that problem, being able to have a workshop and coach them and bring in a consulting practice to actually go build those systems out, I think is a high value proposition. And we're glad to be able to support our MSPs doing that.
For sure. It sounds like you're a double threat. right? So you've got the threat management under control, but I think there's a big market for companies that are trying to, look, they know that they should be using AI more efficiently, more productively, safely, without losing authenticity, without losing control. There's really kind of this balance to try to nail. So yeah, I think
Well,
that's
we're
awesome.
ThreatMate, right? Maybe we should call ourselves double ThreatMate.
Just leave it as a bonus. Hey, you come to us, threat me, but we're also going to let you know what we could do for you on the I side. So
Absolutely.
listen, you nailed all of your questions well under the 60 seconds. Proof that you came prepared. Tell people where they can find you on your website, on LinkedIn, and by all means, promote that podcast.
Super easy. ThreatMate.com. Find us, learn about how you can use AI to find and fix security exposures for the bad guys do. That's the key there. And then you can find me on LinkedIn, Anup Ghosh, ThreatMate. Find my blog series if you want to learn how to run your business using AI.
Awesome. Well, I'll be checking that out myself. I want to thank you for joining. For you folks out there, if you know an MSP VIP that should be in the hot seat, let me know. Easy to find me. Anoop, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, Stefan.